on the much awaited topic, because it's like, oh, everywhere you tune in, everybody's talking about it, about the construction of the harbor and then the airport. Before we even looked at that one, Mr. Richmond Yeboah, just share with us how was the general atmosphere like when you went there?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Let me say good morning to our cherished listeners. Yes, it's true that I went there last Saturday to see what was happening at the manifesto launch of the new patriotic party. But as a practicing journalist also, I think a day before the program, that was on Friday, I went there to see how the arrangements and the organization were going. And I would say that it was very good. Now I saw Honorable Esla Usu, Samuel Uku, and all the big guys organizing the place. And the following morning, I think we had the manifesto launch, and then a day after yesterday, I went back to the university to see how, because they created a lot of mess in terms of waste and all that. So yesterday I passed by to see whether they cleaned the place before they left, and to my surprise, everything was on point, and they've cleaned every part of the university. And I would say if we continue to be responsible like that, we can be able to manage our waste. I've been saying that anytime you go to a place, whatever mess you cause, you have to make sure that before you leave that place, you clean it, and you leave it even better than how you met it. Or if you cannot do that, just as how you met it. So these are some preliminary comments that I am making. On the manifesto launch, as a development practitioner, I was looking at some critical issues. I think and going through the manifesto, I think I am very convinced that it's a good document, especially how trade is driving the agenda of the government. We are aware that trade does everything in terms of development. Slavery was boosted because slavery was because of trade, colonialism and all that, even globalization. The main ingredient that drives globalization is trade. And so if you have a government or a manifesto that is being driven by trade, or that trade is driving the agenda, I'm sure is a good document. They were talking about the fact that they want Ghana to become a financial hub of West Africa. Already we have the Continental Free Trade Agreement. The headquarters is in Ghana. Automobile industry have VW, Toyota and others are coming, Suffolk Tanker and all that, and so they, according to them, they are going to work to make sure that Ghana becomes an automobile hub in West Africa. So trade driving the agenda of government, I'm sure, is a good thing, because at the end of the day we'll be able to create more jobs for the people. And so I would say is a good thing that I read. Going forward, and there were other issues that I thought it should have been given prominence. Gender issues, I think some highlights were made, but we were looking at, for example, when someone commits a crime against a woman, for example rape, for example, when there's an attack, you have to go to the hospital and you have to pay. And so we're thinking that government was going to say, going forward, when such crimes are committed, you go to the hospital, you take a medical form, and you go through the medical processes, and that will be good to go. I remember someone was impregnated by a teacher, the person went to the teacher, and the teacher said that take these drugs and then you'll be okay. The person took the drug, and the lady was sort of in a very serious situation, and then the person reported to the police, and she was asked to go to the hospital, and they couldn't pay for the medical examination. And so if these were free, I am sure it will go a long way to assist women who go through these bad experiences. Then apart from that, the vice president mentioned the fact that the NDC is promising free primary health care, and already the national health insurance is given. Yes, the national health insurance is given, but the challenge is that the national health insurance coverage, we don't have a universal coverage yet. I think the last time I checked, we had less than 70% coverage, so about 30% or more than 30% are not on national health insurance. So what it means is that they cannot access free health care, primary health care for free. And so something that I thought the governing NPP was going to look at it, and I had engagement with some people, and I told them that yes, the national health insurance scheme is good, but because it doesn't cover everyone, and there must be the need to assist people who are not on it. I think there are two ways. One is the fact that some people, the income levels are low and they are not on it, and there are others who have high incomes, they can be on it, but because of past experiences, service is not good to them, and so they don't want to be on it. And so we can segregate and see who is on it and who is not on it. And if you are not on it, why are you not on it? If you can afford and you decide not to be on it, fine. But those who cannot afford and they are not on it, then we must have a program to assist them to access primary health care. So that was it. And the good thing that I also saw is the fact that there wouldn't be a guarantor for accessing the student loan trust, but I thought that the government will go ahead to say that once you apply for admission into the university or tertiary institution, you can also apply for the loan, so that once you are given admission, and then you go to the loan office for maybe an endorsement to go into the school, because some people have admission and they are unable to pay admission fee. Now the loan is 3,500. It's huge, and it can support your university education. So I was thinking that some people, as it stands now, let me put this, as it stands now, you only access the loan when you enroll as a student. There are some people who are unable to pay the admission fee, and so they cannot enroll to access the loan. So I was thinking that yes, no guarantor is good, but you could go ahead to say that, okay, so if you apply for admission and you know you cannot pay the school fees, you can also go to the loan office to apply, and once the admission is given, the loan office can give you a statement, maybe an endorsement, a guarantee that you have applied for loan. They are going to give it to you, so the university should register you. You must enroll, so that when they pay the money, they take the portion for the school fees. So I was thinking that we'll have that. That one would have given a very huge relief to most Ghanaian students to be able to access tertiary education. If you look at the ratio at 17%, it's too low. Our peers in South Africa, they are doing over 85% tertiary enrollment. So from basic school, those who enroll to tertiary in Ghana, 17%. Elsewhere in South Africa is 85%. And even more. And so I think it's something that we need to tackle. And so I engage some people, and we need to continue to have that conversation, so that we can have a very good program for all Ghanaian children, because the free senior high school is adding more. And so how are we going to support these people to access tertiary education? And what I've mentioned is one of them. but generally going through the manifesto, I think from education, consolidating the gains that we have already, the free senior high school, I have said, is a game changer, because in my village, those of us who went to secondary schools are the people who today, when we go back to the village, people look up to us, and they were brilliant students, but because they couldn't access secondary school, today you meet them and it's not good. And so I think that the free senior high school thing is good. MZ camp of yes, so free senior high school for me is a very good thing. Abai so betwaso na where there's the need to expand access in terms of infrastructure, they are going to do that. And apart from that, they mentioned that they are going to build 10 or more model schools in the Zongo communities, which is a huge thing. I remember during the time of President Kufuor, he decided this should be an Obeng model school. So for Kiye, Edinaman became a model school. Edinama wasn't any good school you may want your ward to attend, but when it became a model school, they built more infrastructure, and today Edinama competes in the national science and math quiz. Chufupraso is one of the secondary schools that we can talk of. Today, go to Chufupraso secondary schools, and it's a huge senior high school. In the past, you wouldn't want to attend. In the Volta region, Bueman is an example that I can cite. A lot of them in the Ashanti region and all that. And so, government ISO based more model schools. I think is a good thing in education. A bit me about. We can already know trade is driving the agenda of government. What it means is that say we cut the imports. Now you bit me export more, and it me export more. You be surplus. Now say sikana yedi jano edi to edi tono ya di beka ama yedi aye ada development. I think say a statement manifesto na part in the ababont say most no but then I mentioned say a few issues na me gonna say anka fun baby anka bit me akoye, and I mentioned the loan scheme and meka gender the back also the can so if we can go into the airport conversation and then we can do that, and then Okay, so the airport conversation, I have a position and I still maintain that position. My position is that Abibiana opese oye mpuntujume biano Adjuna a time puntujumano sono should be impuntu. If I put it in English, I am saying that development must lead any developmental project. For example, we say impuntu ejuma bia, I will say at the end of the day ultimately enyamfaso netime boa omanfo omo asetinem. And so you look around Cape Coast, some were saying say or say itimede infidijuma eba before and sana the friend is saying other projects at the airport in Hong Kong aba. I have these two positions. Cape Coast needs an airport. One, we need to be diplomatic in the discourse. By no airport, no vote. I don't subscribe to it, but I subscribe to the fact that Cape Coast needs an airport. Secondly, Cape Coast near airport, here factories and all that. The thinking is I have sat and I still sit on key critical issues. I'm in India, air cost for people to put money into factories and all that because of returns. If you're a businessman and you are investing, you look at your repayment plans. Loan because bank payback period. Repayment no no bank never repayment, sorry, abrebena okwakotie scan the amomo. And now we invest and also scan or they share investment. You are looking at your payback. How long is it going to take you to scanner or the ashen putijuano obenya? The way cost benefit analysis in bank no who say payback no when repayment no ebe ban tema obe moska ban tema moska. In the case of Cape Coast, because it is not economically viable, it will take a very longer time to recoup investment in Cape Coast than when you invest in that same Takoradi, Kumasi, Accra or Tema. And so people may want to do Tema, Accra, Takoradi, Kumasi than Cape Coast. Now in development discourse, no, when it becomes very difficult for the private sector to have an investment, we call something government intervention. So the government must intervene, government intervention. And government intervention, no, the factory, by government itself, a harbor and then an airport for Cape Coast. In my view, this discussion must continue, but I will say, the development. One, I may now, upon further reflection, I think if government wants to do a harbor and airport in Cape Coast, I'll go for it, because in factories, we need an intervention from government. I don't know the thinking, if it is for development thinking now, and what I am thinking, so say aviation industry or Cape Coast, maybe that will open up Cape Coast. Already the only thriving sectors in Cape Coast are education and tourism. And so when we have aviation a bit more support to education and the tourism industry now, I think we are good to go. Before the manifesto launch, I was with a friend, Dr. Amanda Odo, and we're talking about the advantages University of Ghana has over the other universities. And then the advantages University of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has over the other universities except University of Ghana. And one of the issues I can say, I think assessing the universities also can be. For example, someone in the United States of America beat me off a flight from JFK straight away to Kotokwa International Airport to do a University of Ghana or do her, so they can have conversation and have more funding and support for Omejima. In our case, Nipano Ebeba Accra, Mufrakra, and Sanwa Cape Coast. And already the University of Ghana is huge. It has the name, it has everything than the University of Cape Coast. In the middle of Accra, sometimes decisions may change. And sometimes when you get to Accra, there are people to connect you. And in conversations, you may change your mind. Now, all the why do you the University of Ghana? And so, I think, maybe because I've not done any extensive research on this, and so maybe they are not facts. I think maybe the aviation industry, is the missing link. And so once we invest in aviation with a very thorough thought through policy, and yes, ABC airport in no, we must have a document, a policy to guide the aviation industry in Cape Coast. Once we have the policy, we will know how to connect and link all the various years, and once we do that, I am sure that it may be the game changer. But I think that in the decision to build an airport in Cape Coast, development must lead all these discussions. And so I am for an airport for Cape Coast. What we need to do is to engage and see how best we can have it. I think that we need to have a conversation on how we want to drive the aviation sector vis-a-vis the tourism and then the education in Cape Coast. And I'm sure once we're able to do this, maybe the challenge we have is trade trade is weak in Cape Coast. So maybe when the aviation industry comes on board, there might be goods and services. They will carry goods and services and all that, and then maybe once goods and services and all that, it may boost other sectors of the economy. Maybe I'm sorry, I'm using maybe because Sebio, I am aiming to be a scholar, and so I once I don't have I've not done research and or study to come out with their friends say their mekano. I am their opinions, and that is why I'm using maybe ABI, but I am not a commentator, and I refuse to be a commentator. I want to have my discussions as a scholar or academic, and maybe because they are not based on any research or findings. That is it. So
so in case you just tuned in, this is Eagle 87.7, and there's the breakfast show. I mean, the Monday edition of the breakfast show. Today's date is 24th of August 2020. Time check 1 after 9 a.m. Original be so on also the share thoughts. Now we are expressing our thoughts, just like manager said. Maybe your opinion about this.
Well, we say he has done more on development. I think I agree with him with everything that he has said, because initially my concern on airports in Cape Coast was like, I mean, there aren't any viable industries, so why an airport in Cape Coast? I mean, so but then looking at the whole thing now, I'm getting a different view, because if probably the airport may be the game changer. So if there's an airport, then industries may come in. If there's an airport, then there will be some job openings for people to also get access to work. So it may be the game changer. It's a manifesto promise or something in their manifesto. As to how it's going to be delivered is we should leave it to the politicians. They are going to deliver it. We hope to see it manifest, and for me as a citizen of Cape Coast, I'll be glad to see it, but how soon is it going to be? That is what we are looking at. I'm just hoping that it wouldn't just be a manifesto promise, but it will be something that is going to become a reality.
Before we begin, on Chibia, we are link up with peace. Na and conversation also if you record honum. Na answer na even afutu nezema youth, especially starting from money, because now people are talking. People are is it over excitement, or I don't really know. Chadwa wando do they what capture? Oh
no, but you see, everybody likes good things, and at a point in time, the youth in Cape Coast, or some youth, if I may put it,
they started a campaign.
Yes, went on a campaign on.
I think there's a recent call for an airport in Cape Coast.
Yes,
but there has been a call for a friend say airport for Cape Coast so many years ago, and an airport for Central Region so many years ago. Even in 2008, the late president Mills promised Cape Coast an airport. President Kufuor had done that earlier, and President Rawlings had also said Cape Coast Airport. And then eventually, Omodeko secure at Abase 3,000 acres. And so the conversation has been there. 2017 and 2018, the Minister for Aviation, that time Madam Cecilia Dapa, she came around to inspect, and she says Cape Coast and the Takra, the proposals are still ongoing for airport until more year that feasibility studies and all that. So the conversation is going, but I think the Candy Man and his group Omono akwa independence within the shortest possible time, and no but can demo the NSN now. Are you talking? So and that is the difference. Even though the conversation but the Candy and his group are calling for an airport now. So that is the difference. But when it comes to the conversation, it has been ongoing, and almost every day it is. So if someone says, for example, afterthought, the president can say airport for Cape Coast because of Accra, because of Kumasi, because of Takrady, for now, there has not been a justification. All the same, the Onimse Ministry of Aviation an airport for Cape Coast. Omogoso ye hon and omodi hon komo. Onimse the same thing omo here for Koforidua, which is also closer to Koforidua. No, Accra. Omogoso omodi hon komo. That was what the president said, but the aviation ministry ne projects and all that. And so if someone comes to say after NPP Manifesto, now I will not agree, because the conversation has been ongoing, but the missing way is a Ministry of Aviation for no Anna almost undecided, and now we have finalized all the conversation. So we are building an airport for Cape Coast, an airport for Western region. That was what was missing. So if and the minister a part of the manifesto committee, and so the minister sitting at the committee, or no bit me a brief committee is when it comes to aviation or infrastructure for transporter, we can put events, we can make a case for Cape Coast Airport. Already Takrady Diana or now we use no bit me is but already. So I think these are for the maybe for political reasons you may say other things, but then I coming from a different perspective, I think that yes, the president might have said there has not been a justification aviation for the home common. And at that point, I am sure the president had not gone through all the manifesto document. He had not gone through everything. That is why even after I'm sure say a hokrano obisama no hint. Internet president can say the manifesto has a good news for Cape Coast. Even the day or interview can say into the good news, and apart from the airport ni habone yeti good news na president ekan was studio apart from the airport and the we no yenti bibia. And so say the airport wasn't part. The good news the president says we have a good news for the people of Cape Coast. No chinano ye better no and no good news no any day. No any day is also in your airport now. What is the good news? Yes. So I think that the president might have forgotten say beer. And quickly, even at the studio, he was prompted. And now on person back into he says we have a good news for Cape Coast. And so maybe the discussions have been ongoing and all that. And I'm sure we will continue to have a conversation on this one. At the end of the day, and I have said, CAC Airport now, Cape Coast is not economically viable. Airport in Asia, and yet a buying project be personally when we are doing project infrastructure, it must be capital projects like an airport. It must be able to repay for the investment addition. Other times, because of say how the area is and yet viable economically, but then you may sacrifice to do a project for social reasons, development. Until we are and why airport no ma sikana was a wunya number, but the airport ama opening be ama because airport warrant say bi obi a o to kwan e bi o de nyema free Cote d'Ivoire they call Burkina Faso they may have the opportunity to use obi or person won't fly directly from JFK and from Cape Coast no one come the person may and think kakra it would open up the place, and that is what sometimes we that is how sometimes we take a development decision. It may not give you friends returns in a year, but no bit me abua ama when you other investment a bit me abua the economy of the local area. I mean, use this opportunity to also say go for no money opportunity wa ben money o man kasanso ye adwumenye sika no. They must come home to build Cape Coast because no one is going to build Cape Coast for them. Their politicians are to create enabling environment for us, for investors in the private sector. If I am a private person, nyankopon ya adomna PR minyesika, I may want to invest in Adansi Asokwa. Rivison Yeska, he may want to invest in baby free. That in the same way, no Baba Yeska, you have to invest in Cape Coast. Don't live only in Accra. I was asking colleagues, where are the Kweku hotels of Cape Coast? Where are the Kwame Despice of Cape Coast? Where are the Kennedy Japons of Cape Coast? Where are the Alaji Accra FM? I'm a Kingdom FM. Where are they? We at least almost bit here be no more Yeboah and open Yanko Ponsia Uncle Jacob Onyaka Kran West Virgin Restaurant Yanko Ponsio Guakoto Onyaka Kran Hatchela no Konoba. And if we continue to do this, at least we open up the play. The politician can only create enabling environment. The private businessman will have to come and invest. But Kennedy Enyes can Wakusi FM station war for sure. Because a honor will free, even though Cape Coast is the capital. And those who come home and invest. And once we do that, and there are Cape Coasters who had opportunity in government, and they were very influential. But unfortunately, everything in the crown. Penibia minimum begwaya or the Elmina Beach Resort, which is too bad for so many years. And now 20 years if you are a crowd of few it's not good. And so the young Cape Coasters, no, I think when we have money, let us invest in the local economy. If we are waiting for an investor will not come. So why would they are? Yes, sir. And you are not thinking about returns, and that is what Nkovuri or more yes, so Nikrumo and Kakran, even more FM station. And you, but now some of them have more than 10 radios on the first investment or because in Chrome. NGFM, who in the Kumasi, and now he's all over. And by yes, Kayano, baby, Kesbin, yes, Kano, who in the Kurumu first. So, despite, of course, no what in crime, Twayan and crime, February, and the second one was in Kumasi, and Sana, or Guinea, other person. So, and the Brian Champon is driving Kouman. Brian, Kou, now until Park gliding on any way. But then, by and Kakran Kako was still not way, but Brian now hotels, estates, no Konoba Brian no Kouno. Brian is opening up Kouman and is a single person. And I said you Katia Monyeska, the first 10, and obviously Abrosan, Kurasia Brosen, or sending a Bobinia baby other. And that is the thinking. Yeska, you feel. A house help, just employ house help. And so your best say going forward in your scam. Also have a crime so sometimes there's no motivation to build in Accra and build here. But the thing is that when you build and invest in Cape Coast, you are opening up Cape Coast. At the end of the day, you may be anyhow and I viable. Say be more development one crime. No, the development in Cape Coast, and I'm sure Cape Coast and even partnership and development in Cape Coast. I'm sure Cape Coast would have been far ahead of so many areas in Ghana, because when we talk of a young Peninsula P Ghana, won't mean vice president, then your president, then your ministers are kukudam every. So why are we still the same? Until we must change our mindset and make sure that we work hard to change the fortunes of Cape Coast. Politicians will create the enabling environment. At the end of the day, we cannot blame the politician. Yes, one district, one factory. For example, all the support that we hear to a friend is saying build a factory, abana creative. So we hear electricity, fire, no home konuba. Ya creative BBR. Oh, the Anizo Benyo Sika Nadiaba, Nadiaba, that is what the government can do. But the gas here, the Sikano Kwako Semuna, a 111 cases Kakrebi, Abra private name to me, and why then government will intervene. There's a government intervention. But the man who do be a ban on some children into a private no Yankee home na any way.
In fact, someone on Kamipedamica, obviously, brought for some word dos will go to go and pay for a brought for some word dos dodo. I am Paraja Obi.
You can't fault them.
Why?
And say this is the hub of education.
Enti Brofo Obi was Brofo no you there.
Oh, Brofo no you indeed, but
it is a weekend or started from Yankasa, Sabandomo, Abamno, Bomo. Even with this airport, people in Pinifan can use to see them come on a web show when you see they are saying something else. The Chawain when I dream there one Casano, what it them are Yerkea, what it in the other places. Would you official will be Chemukur? Would you will be Chemukur? Area was saying, but Pinifan was I him. Nowhere nae. Inti yazibiakuya obeye se habe obabado so mbado so obeye so ye igwe ebobo ya no ngo jinemi no wodo. Politicians say they will create the enabling environment.
Airport in there was say
bimpa
because me kwa ka member
Ko baby radio station he no be no. Obi developing the crew. And so if you sit here and you things are banned baba ya mawa obwa a bank cannot do it. Obia must make sure that at least or contribute ne de kakra na or the aboard the development of any crew.
Well, yeah, can you do manager last week in activity phone line, so we got a complaint from one chief Cape Coast. I mean, sure they thing and come and Nana Ubura Sankoma anchor for him and now pay chill. Now also a band pay yes ben me
Cape Coast Technical University.
Okay. But we know that if you have future, I mean political and
I carry so many portfolios.
Okay.
And depending on where I sit,
okay,
I come with one. And this morning, I came as a development practitioner. Not even a manager.
Okay.
I came as a practitioner to talk about development.
I also want us to look at it from a development.
When I go to the office, they'll be talking about Eagle and Cape Coast.
All right. So now let's look at development perspective.
Okay.
I'm also coming from a development. We know that any time a development, if you want to have a very sustainable development, I think that if you want to have a sustainable development, we should involve the people. I mean, there should be engagement. You should engage the people acquire development in and last Friday Nana also took the number for me then Penny so a project, I mean developmental project now. Even the chiefs will consult one, and when they're about to cast order now commission or Jumana, and then they will inform the chiefs to come and grace the occasion. Only the seven no children won't for any simple for a equal new random say kada equal random only I am for no, and I make a share from as a development practitioner. What's your take on this one?
Oh, okay. I think yes, it can be said